Hi there. Are you there, Austin? I see you. Oh, 3 people already watching. Cool. Hi there, everyone. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for people to pile into the room because I scheduled it for 1:05 p.m., but thanks for popping in right away. I wonder what kind of questions people will ask today. I like this Q&A. I like doing topics for my videos that are in my mind, but everybody who watches, who leaves a comment, well, not everybody, but lots of people who leave a comment ask questions. So I think these live Q&As are a good idea. The counter says it's down to 2 people, so maybe one person was here, but then they left. Maybe they're still here. I'm not sure. One person now. I wonder if you'll stick around. Maybe it'll go down to 0. That's funny. Of course, I have no questions yet, so I'm just talking. No one's chatting yet that I can see. Oh, I think I'm alone. One person liked it, one person watching, but I think it's me. I'm not sure exactly. I'll just keep waiting. Hey there, I think someone might have just joined the room. Hi there. I scheduled for 1:05 p.m., so I'm just waiting for that, and might still be waiting for a few people to join who ask a question in the chat. And if anyone's listening right now and wants to ask a question in the chat, go ahead. I'll answer them when a few people have joined in. I guess this waiting period is why I've seen on live streams for very professional channels that they do a blank screen at the beginning that just says live stream coming, live stream coming. Yo, Zen Quartz, how's it going there? So shortly after this live stream, a new short video is going to be published on my public channel, and the topic is paranoid delusions. It is like thinking others are against you. I had an impression yesterday while at a restaurant with my friend that there was poison in the water cup that I left on the table before returning with the tray of food. What a hilarious thing for my brain to say. I didn't believe it for a second, but my brain said, is it poisoned? That's such a ridiculous, ridiculous premise for like lunch with a long time, very good friend. Just a silly, silly fiasco of the brain. I think that's what they mean by brain disease. It's the brain does it when I didn't choose it, I didn't want it, it just popped into my mind and went out the other way. And I had a choice, I suppose, years ago to believe in those delusional thoughts. And as I've picked away at delusions over time, I still have the delusional thinking, but it doesn't turn into a delusion, which is the held belief. I just see the thoughts kind of go through my head, and I've had skepticism and hesitancy to believe them for a long time. And I think that's one thing that's really good for me is that I've promoted and fostered healthy doubt, healthy skepticism. So when my brain does say things or I do hallucinate something, a voice randomly, I don't trip out and judge it to be beyond my control. It is kind of in my brain, like I am in my brain, and that's okay. Hey CF, how's it going? 1:06 p.m. I wonder if other people will show up. Every other time I've done a live stream, people do trickle in. Like some of my viewers eventually see a live thumbnail and they click on it. So I hope a few more people show up. That would be great. It says there are 3 people and I don't see any more chat. I wonder if I just see the top chat. I hope I see everything. My friend with schizophrenia would tell me not to drink the water because it was poisoned. Seems like some of the delusions are similar amongst people with schizophrenia. Yes, that's true. There's like a number of like subsets of delusion. There's like political delusion, religious persecution, like my coworkers spying on me, my neighborhood spying on me. My own delusions were very spiritual and new agey kind of things where I thought that there was just one mind and it was communicating with me. That's a weird thing. That's solipsism. Solipsism is like the feeling or belief that only the self exists. And for like a philosophical like nihilist, they might decide that there's only one thing, whatever that means. But for a psychotic person or schizophrenic person, it's like a really felt thing that like nobody has an independent identity anymore. It's just like a synchronicity. It's a weird thing. But yeah, lots of delusions are similar. I think there's like paranoia and weird beliefs are actually quite common in the culture that we have today, the cultures that we have today, that the strange beliefs happen. And then it seems some individuals take an extra pile on top of themselves, and then they're stressed out and threatened by beliefs that other people and groups seem to have, but they're not like, they might be false beliefs, but they're not the same as delusions, right? Delusions are like false beliefs that are held so strongly that there's some kind of detriment to the person. That's what schizophrenia is. It's beliefs and hallucinations and other symptoms that are like stressful for the person. It's the stress and the pain and the suffering which denotes mental illness. Otherwise, all the brains are different. All the minds are different. Is there any more chat here? And like, I guess our cultural frameworks, like a lot of people know about the same religion, the same historical figures, the same sorts of ideas, the same movies are in this public consciousness, all sorts of stuff like that, that the similar tropes and messages appear for different people who have similar kinds of behaviors and phenomena going on inside them. So I think it does make sense that several of the delusions from different individuals would kind of overlap and sometimes be almost the same. It's interesting that like with all the variety of the human species, there's like 3 out of 100 that are going to have a psychotic episode at some point in their life, and 1 in 100 will get a long-term kind of schizophrenia diagnosis. And there's so many different kinds of diagnoses, and there's so many options that people in the same linguistic concept history have some of the same aberrant, weird psychiatric symptoms. It's interesting, though. Not to drink the water because it was poisoned. You might like the video that's going to release at 1:30 p.m. CF. It's water and it's poisoned. It's funny. Hey there, Iron Fire Horse. Welcome. Does anybody have another question? I'm just talking. I'm waiting for you guys. You have to ask me a question. I could just talk all day. I like answering questions, though. How do you help someone with schizophrenia to trust? My friend has been in the state hospital for 2 years. Ouch. And it's not doing well. Wow, that's intense. I can't imagine being in a hospital for 2 years. I know that where I am, there are government regulations and laws about basically forcing people to undertake treatment. But I know in several state hospital systems, there isn't that kind of law, and people have to accept treatment in order to be given it. If people don't accept treatment, they're not forced to take pills. They might be injected with something just to calm them down. I'm not sure, but if someone doesn't want to take pills, doesn't want treatment, in some of those state hospital systems, they just get put away for a long time. It's like a long-term incarceration. I can't imagine that. I'm up in Canada, and that sounds really intense. Massachusetts, yeah. I know that in where I am, they call it involuntary patient legislation. And if you're an involuntary patient, two doctors have signed off. This person is unable to make choices for their well-being in a rational way, and they need to be compelled or held down even and injected with medication. And the goal of that is to get people out of the hospital system. And I know in different jurisdictions around the world that some of that involuntary patient legislation isn't there, so they just kind of lock people away, and it's like a long-term like asylum, and it's a scary thing to answer the question about how to help them to trust. I think part of it is a number of people have to communicate with that person, visit them in the hospital, talk to them about, just talk to them. Like sometimes when you talk delusion, it's resisted and it's fiercely objected. But if you just talk and share and relate, then it's a lot safer and friendlier. And you can actually I find I calm down when people just talk with me. But if there was a point in my past, and I've seen it in other schizophrenics, that if they're really fiercely holding on to the delusion, it's not good to talk about the delusion. Doctors, nurses often talk about the delusion, so they're often rejected by the individuals with psychotic symptoms. So like really communicating and being with that person so they have something to trust, I think is key. Involuntary patient. Well, where I am, the involuntary patient means like, we're going to treat you. I know in some places they kind of just lock you up and you're not considered a patient until you consent. So it's these things are legal terms though, and they probably differ from place to place. Before 1985, people with mental illness had no rights here in Canada. I'm not familiar with that law, but I'll look it up. Do you have a bit more details about it, Iron Fire Horse? I'm curious about that. 1985. What was it? A particular law or a bill that was passed? Interesting. Hey, Torballs. Nice to see you. I feel I was basically tricked into signing up to 30-day hold, but my parents were pretty scared when they brought me to the hospital, and I don't blame them. Yeah, for sure. The last time I was taken into the hospital, they signed on the first day and the second day a paper that said I was involuntary when I voluntarily chose to get into a vehicle, get driven to the hospital, and walked in and I said, I need help. And they signed that I was an involuntary patient. So that's another problem with like such systems where you're signing people's kind of rights and freedoms and privileges away. That kind of signing away is disruptive. It is like, as you say, Torball's basically tricked. I miss you too. It's nice to see you on here on the chat watching this. It's like that's fun. You're the person I've known the longest that's on here. Wow. Thank you for showing up. Yes, it was put into law. A lot of things were at that time. Another one was it became illegal for husbands to rape their wives. That's a strange one. There's a lot of laws, I guess, all the time. That's, I haven't studied that period and laws, really. ACF, yeah, I have that experience too with people I know who have had interactions with psychiatric systems that I just treat them like my friend, and I'm often on a different rapport with them than their family and doctors who are maybe more perceived to be kind of intrusive. And people that can just be friendly with a person having psychotic symptoms, that person that can just be a friend and accepting is really good, really helpful. It's the calming influence is really good, and the calming influence is natural between good friends. That's what's really natural for us to just like check ourselves, check each other in balance. And doctors, cops, parents sometimes are a different kind of authority structure that like try to kind of tell you what to do. And in that situation, there can be animosity, and the friend doesn't even like trigger the negative experiences that some doctors or those sorts of different authority figures can. So that's tricky. That like not trusting family is quite common. Yeah, for sure. Not trusting family or doctors or like different kinds of authority, different kinds of, and like the thing about doctors and family being like troubling is that they kind of often have like both doctors and family have a like a quite deep perspective on individuals with psychosis. The family member kind of knows what the person was like without those symptoms. The doctor has a really like a focus on all those symptoms, and that's different experience than our friends. I think of like the authority and the people going on. Deep understanding needs to come before help. Yes, and sometimes the friends have a deeper understanding of a person to person kind of like fairness. Like a gentle friend is less likely to create like argument and fighting than like a family member that you have some kind of disagreement with. Some kind of disagreement between family members or doctors and patients causes friction, which I am pretty sure amplifies symptoms. That being calm and being friendly and being accepting and having like a lot of community support with family, doctors, and friends, all of that together is going to be the most hopeful for people. Yes, yeah, keep treating him like a friend. That's a good idea. Hopefully someone else can relate to him and help him out. Acceptance is huge according to my daughter, and I see she does better when with people who do accept her. Yes, acceptance is huge. So that's been 20 minutes. I think I'm going to wind down and keep this short because I think that's easier on me and easier on everyone watching. And so thank you for viewing, everyone. I'm going to sign off. So thanks. I'll just chill here for a sec and let everyone kind of hear that, because I know there's delays and lag sometimes between what I do right now and when it gets to people. Apparently I can close the chat and it'll just disappear from people. It'll close even if they're not at the end of what I've streamed. So thanks everyone. Thanks for asking your questions. I'm going to try to make this a regular Sunday encounter. So yeah, I'm moved into a new place here. I moved last year, July, and now I'm living alone, and it's really good. My creativity's flowing. So thanks everyone for watching. Everyone have a good day. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye. Peace.